Hello, I'm Dynast Amir.
So I reached out to another friend of mine. I said, look, I need to go on vacation somewhere. Where should I go? He said, go to Africa. And not only am I going to go, I'm going to explore a new country. So I went to Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Mali, Senegal, Morocco, Liberia, Namibia, Kenya, the Voodoo Festival in Ouida, Gambia, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria. It's been a beautiful experience, just learning more about our culture, our indigenous culture. So uhuru means freedom in Swahili. I'm in search of my roots. In finding that, I would experience my uhuru, which is freedom.
Till next time, Dynast Amir. I'm out.
Hey guys, you can hear me, right?
We hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to address the topic, and based on the topic, I'm going to say yes. Not because I want to blame anybody or I want to beat on anybody. I'm just going by what people say. Because if you say you're part of a gang, then you must be complicit in what the gang does. Because the argument has been, we are part of America, the American flag, blah, blah, blah. So you cannot say in one hand that I'm American and this is my land and blah, blah, blah. But when the white man goes everywhere and fucks shit up, now you're not part of it. All of a sudden, now it's him now and not you. So going by the topic, you must be part of it. You must be part of the conspiracy. You're part of the economic hitmen. Because, for example, in Somalia, right here next door, there are black American soldiers who are there fucking shit up. There are people in African countries and Caribbean countries who are messing things up. Some of them are black, part of you. So you can't say it's the white man. It's since you claim to be part of that gang, you're part of that gang. That means you're complicit as well. The tax thing, people say, okay, the immigrants come to America and they follow the hitman's money and blah, blah, blah. Okay, that doesn't arise because you must pay taxes anywhere you go. There's nowhere you will go and not pay taxes. If you come here, for example, you say that Africans sold slaves. If you come to my country, whether we sold you or not, you will pay taxes. There's no escaping taxes anywhere in the world. So the tax argument just doesn't work for me. So the thing is this. I don't like it when these FBA fellows try to be like, okay, I hate the white man, but I'm not part of what he's done. But then I want to be part of his society and I want to raise his flag. But then I don't want to be part of his nonsense. But then I'm part of his nonsense. So it's very confusing. It's like, where are you now? It doesn't make any sense. So
You're talking, brother. You're talking about a people who have been taken away from their original culture, and over centuries, any type of identity has been erased from them, and they just been made into largely a consumer.
That's not me. I don't know who that is. Okay, what you're saying is this. Okay, I understand you've been taken away from your community and everything, but we were colonized as well. We were colonized. I never
Right,
took.
right, right. It's a
I never.
global thing. It's a
I never
global
took.
thing. The
I
problem,
never took
listen,
up.
let me share something with you. Let me share something with you. The problem is that we don't see ourselves as one nation, and we see ourselves as these different nationalities. But when you look at it, we all sold out. And it was a time for that to happen. But now we have to take the knowledge that we have and produce different systems outside of the ones that oppress the world. And we have to be smart and intellectual enough to have these conversations and then have an agenda that goes along with that. Yeah, there's many problems within, our black nations. And and most of it is the ones that can make a difference, like what we're seeing here. The ones that could make a difference, they're going to sell out to corporate interests. They're going to sell out to the dollar. They're going to sell out to their individual agenda. You understand? Like I tell people, if you have YouTube, you have to use it responsibly, because everyone can't do what Dynas do. Everyone can't do what some of these people are put. It's work that have to go into it. But if I'm monetizing and everybody's looking at me and they're sending me money, and saying, hey, I want to reproduce what Brother Kwesi is doing over there in the Gambia, but I'm making money off of you. When 10, 20, 100 of you show up, you can't reproduce. If 2 or 3 of you show up, it's competition. You understand what I'm saying? And then it's conflict. So we have to be able to have or create our own economic, our own currency. We have to be able, even if 10% of our transaction, we used our currency and we support our business. These are things that could be done. It don't take everybody. They have, I talk about the blockchain. Dynas is familiar with that, and anybody that's familiar with it, it allows us to come from under the oppression of the global monetary cartel, the economic hitman, whatever you want to call it, Jim Crow. However, these aren't going to be done in large communities. They're going to be communities that it might be a building of people, a co-op that understand that. It might be 4 or 5 of you guys, and you buy some land and you got 4 or 5 houses there, and you guys understand that. You know what I mean? It's happening, but the tools are there. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a universal problem facing us as black, people of the planet, and we need to address it like as such.
And I agree. Oh, go ahead.
I agree with you, and I don't want to speak so much because I want to let the sister who came on speak.
Yeah,
And
I
think we complicate things a lot, because we speak a lot about, we try to reinvent the wheel a lot. We don't need our own currency to trade. We can use existing systems to do our thing. We can, but we think we need to do all these grandiose things, like we need a currency.
Well, listen. When you say we have to use the current system and say it's a problem with it, you understand what I'm saying? That's insanity. Now, how are we going to use their system, their dollar, when the dollar is losing value? Things are getting higher. People are getting paid less. Come on now. What system of their educational system? Maybe we'll send our children to their universities.
Okay, and that was
what can we use?
My point.
We're going to have to use what's in place now, but we had a plan, because a lot of people are suffering economically. A lot of people are coming over here and not making the transition when there's basic adjustments that we could do to help everybody. But that's not being promoted because everybody's bringing the old systems.
I'm agreeing with you.
Hold on, let me read this super chat and then we'll pass it to Chrissy. If they avoid big corporations, shout out to Never Miriam. If they avoid big corporation and shop at mom and pop shops and local stores, would that be supporting USA imperialism? Hey, Kwesi, I'll let you answer that, then we're going to pass it to Chrissy.
If they avoid big corporation and shop at mom and pop. Yeah, mom and pop died a long time ago. One Walmart wiped out about 300 mom and pops, all types of flower shops, anything, every segment in there, category in there, they used to be mom and pops. The mom and pops are done. It's just corporations now. There's no way outside of the corporate monopoly. That everything that we do, even to getting married, even to how we bury our people, it's all corporate marketing. That supports a system that don't support us.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Chrissy. Unmute yourself.
Yes, hi everyone. This is a really good topic, and honestly, when conversations like this, and I think of the folks who classify themselves as FBA and telling us, we flee and we need to go home and we need to be deported and all that kind of stuff. Um, it's just like when you're in the United States, you are a part of the beast system. You can't, African Rattle said, you can't double dip, have it this way. You carve yourself around all the problems and you want all the good. Whereas, yeah, well, we're not a part of this, but we're a part of this. We're not a part of this, but no, you are a part of it once you're here, if you want to be or not. Blood is on all of our hands once we're here, if we want it to be or not. And for the FBA types who are telling us to go somewhere, you don't even know, when we talk about privilege and the value that you have, the oil, the real cost of oil is not the price you see, and that's still subsidized. You're not paying the real price. Most of that oil is coming from Nigeria, and all kind of shady things have been done to bring the price down. The produce that you eat is brought from the rest of the world. Dole and Chiquita destroyed the Caribbean banana trade so that they could monopolize it and bring you low-cost bananas, low-cost fruit, aluminum, low-cost, everything. You can get so many things here cheap. So the American beast system stretches its tentacles across the world and helps to undermine and destroy local economies so that you, who turn around and tell us to go home, can have cheap products. So I'm just like, when I hear people talk about this, go home, I'm like, these people don't understand international economics. They don't understand how things are run and how things are built. Unfortunately, I'm in the United States. Not unfortunately, but I mean, I'm in the United States, and unfortunately, I'm a part of the beast system. I'm talking to you on a cell phone. The cell phone contains coltan. There are African children who are being almost enslaved, not going to school, dying in mines for this coltan. Does it make me feel bad? Yes. Do I feel guilty? Yes. But the way the system is set up, there are certain things that you have to have in order to be able to function and progress in this society. So that's when it comes back to accountability. We all have to be accountable and realize we're all, unfortunately, if you're in the US or if you're abroad and you're using the US dollar to live a better life, you are tapping into that beast system.
But you hit on a good point that it is an international system.
Absolutely.
It's not just the United States that happens, and there are people within these other countries, whether it be Jamaica or a country in Africa, where they are participating in the global system as well. The United States is a world hegemon, and as
Absolutely.
a hegemon, you're able to go ahead and dominate globally. So simply having a location in the United States does not make you the ones who are benefiting the most from the system. There are people positioned all over the globe that chiefly benefit from the system and can impose aspects of the system in different countries, whether it be in an educational system where you have people who aren't allowed to wear black hairstyles at school, or every little thing. So I think people are being a little too simplistic about it when you say just living in the United States makes you part of the system, because the system is much larger.
I think you're talking about the American beast system, which is a part of the white supremacist system. So when you're talking about the black hairstyles, that I think of more of like the white supremacist system, which is global, right? America's influence as a nation is global. If America comes to the table and Barbados comes to the table, Barbados is at a disadvantage. Barbados is going to do what America tells it to do. And if they don't, look at Haiti. News has come out about American influence on what happened. It was funded by this doctor who lived here, and then there's questions about America's involvement. You know what I'm saying? So things do not happen unless the master says it happens, and that's just the way the system is built right now.
And things are a little bit different. You got to understand that America is, in terms of an oppressive system, especially on the black man and women, it's one of the most oppressive systems in the world. And we see it in our community through the explosion of violence. And here in Gambia, people don't have a lot of money, but the ones that go to the West, they're like, wow. It's hard there because all you're doing is you're working for the system. You're getting up in the morning, before the sun come up, getting prepared to go to work. You're leaving out, getting to work, and you're returning home, and the sun is going down. And in between that, you're trying to manage your family. You know, God forbid you have 2 or 3 children or a husband, right? You're paying for a house that you don't get to live in. You know, you're not raising your children. Social media is doing that. You know, so we're in that system there that's oppressive, where someone here, you know, they live together. Even, you know, one of the basic things that we could do to really fight this global beast is live together. You know, when I was in the States, we had a very large organization, and, you know, we lived communally, you know, and, you know, in our community, everybody didn't have a phone. You know, everybody couldn't have the young people. They couldn't even get on phone for a certain time. It was a small group of us, and we made a lot of money. We had Food for Life Supreme right there, MLK in Atlanta. We have one in New York. We have one in Jersey. You know, you guys might be familiar, Suitland, Maryland. You know, however, you know, as far as America is concerned, and I always gotta look at the violence. My nephew just came home after 18 years. My cousin Ray just came home after 29 years in prison. You know, half of my friends are coming home, the ones that didn't die from being in jail, and you know that's the norm for us. So we, you know, it's better for us to be in countries where, you know, it's less developed in our mindset, and still have our humanity and have our families.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that point, Kwesi. I mean, I definitely do think there are factors in the society that might lead people down violence, but I also think we do have to include a factor of personal responsibility, because at the end of the day, a person chooses what they decide to do, and they have to live with the consequences beyond that. But that's not my
I
main point.
don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, because
Okay,
you know
that's
you're
fine.
talking about
That's fine.
you're
That's
talking
not
about,
my.
you know, listen, let me just share something, because you know we hear that a lot, especially brother. You know, when I was coming up, you know,
Okay, can I just
that
make
wasn't
my? Can
there
I just
for us.
land first, and then you can respond? I'll
Well,
just land on a point, and then you can
well,
respond.
you know what, go ahead, sure, why not?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so that wasn't my main point, but you know, you disagree with that. That's totally fine. I just kind of wanted to piggyback
Sure,
off of
why
what
not?
Chrissy was saying and what you were saying
Okay.
about living together. You know, coinciding with living together, I think another thing that we have to look at is also working together. um Chrissy was mentioning something. I think you gave a really great example, Chrissy, like when Barbados and America are at the negotiating table. You know, Barbados is at a huge disadvantage in comparison to America. This is why I'm a big advocate specifically for the Caribbean. I know the Caribbean have their own like regional power block, but I'm a huge advocate for all of those like black population dominated Caribbean countries becoming member states of the African Union and benefiting off of things like the free continental free trade agreement that Africa has, and just, you know, boosting trade between the Caribbean and Africa and working closer together as an economic bloc. I think these are things that we can try to implement now to just benefit all of us. So that was the main point I wanted to drive. Oh, I think Crazy left.
I guess he dropped off. Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button again, please. Hit that like button, and don't be afraid of super chat. All right, go ahead, Nigel.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, this is an interesting one because
Nigel, are you on? Are you like on speakerphone or something, or it's like you're?
I'm on this webcam mic. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can just adjust it quickly.
Yeah. Go ahead, Leroy. Unmute yourself. Yeah, Leroy, we can't hear you. Go ahead, Nigel.
Maybe while they're getting themselves together, can I say something?
Yeah,
Okay,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
To respond to, oh, sorry, you're back. Okay.
No, go ahead, Chrissy.
Kabaka was saying about the Caribbean and Africa coming together. You know, there were talks of Haiti was supposed to actually become part of the African Union, and everything was smooth. Then all of a sudden, the complete idea was completely dropped. You know, me, when I see things like that, I start to wonder if some white man whispered in someone's ear and said, no, we're not going to start that. just out of nowhere. They were on it. It was being advocated, promoted. Haiti and the African Union were in talks, and then just like a feather, it was just dropped abruptly.
I think
Can I answer that?
Tunai just says this. Tunai just says this a lot. Like, we need to make a decade of progress happen within 2 weeks. I think that we have a lot of leaders who are compromised, which is so unfortunate. But honestly, the entire Caribbean should be part of the African Union. Like, the next time we push this, it needs to be more than just Haiti. It needs to be the Bahamas. It needs to be Jamaica, fucking Trinidad and Tobago.
I can answer that
Well,
question. But what
my
she
thing
asked,
was this. I heard a brother talk about how America oppresses us. How I don't really agree with that, only for the fact that America provides so much opportunity for us. They help the poor. I think our problem is that we undermine or undervalue ourselves.
Definitely truth in that.
okay,
Because
Chris,
if
can I
they're
answer what?
oppressing us, why would they give us like Section 8, food stamps? There's so many programs. I think what it is that we undervalue our services. We just don't value ourselves enough to even start an economy for our
Well,
own selves.
Section 8 and the programs